The story begins in Sector 9 Gamma, a desolate orbital junkyard floating around a dying moon at the edge of regulated space. It's a place where civilizations across the galaxy dump obsolete tech, failed prototypes, and broken relics of past wars. Amid the endless piles of rusting debris and fractured hulls lies a monstrous, centuries-old warship, massive, hollowed out, and half-buried beneath wreckage. Once a prototype from an ancient warfaring civilization now extinct, the ship was deemed a lost cause by every known race. The galactic records labeled it Project Vortex, a vessel meant to shift the balance of power. But it was scrapped after catastrophic energy core instability during its first test flight. When Earth's delegation unexpectedly bids for salvage rights to the derelict ship, the galaxy laughs. At this point in history, humanity is still relatively new to the galactic stage. While they've proven hardy, curious, and versatile, the established empires, the Zarnethi High Command, the Vortari Dominion, and the technocratic Vexari, see humans as primitive problem solvers at best, barely worthy of council seats. When the news breaks that Earth representatives have requested exclusive rights to Project Vortex, the Zarnethi media spins it into a galactic joke. Networks mock the monkeys from Earth who think they can restore a vessel that even the ancients abandoned. A live broadcast from Zarnethi comedian pundits becomes viral. What's next? Humans turning asteroid dust into cruisers. Maybe duct tape a moon together. The humans in the negotiation chambers keep their composure, accepting the jeers silently as they sign the salvage contract for a single credit. Back on Earth, however, there's no laughter, only grim determination. The human delegation knows exactly what they're doing. They've studied every scrap of pre-collapse data on Project Vortex. Though the original alien architects failed, humans see opportunity. Earth has made survival into an art form. With limited resources and decades of reverse engineering alien tech to survive, humans excel where others don't even try, making miracles out of ruins. As Earth's salvage crews arrive in Sector 9 Gamma, the difference in approach is immediate. Alien crews typically operate under strict guild regulations, using pristine equipment and AI-managed processes. Humans, in contrast, deploy a ragtag team of engineers, mechanics, and even a few unlicensed tinkerers. They use repurposed freighters and patched-up drones. The Zarnethi, watching via satellite feeds, mock the humans' cobbled-together tools and old-fashioned welding. They're building a coffin, one alien says during a news segment, not a warship. The ship itself is in ruinous condition. Its hull is half dissolved from cosmic radiation. The internal structure is riddled with failed circuits and shattered conduits, and at its core lies a damaged experimental drive whose last known test vaporized a fleet of escorts. It looks like a lost cause, exactly the kind of challenge humans can't resist. Working in shifts around the clock, the Earth team begins mapping the vessel's skeleton. They catalog what can be salvaged, what needs replacing, and, more importantly, what can be reimagined. A lead engineer named Rami Alenko describes the ship as not broken, just misunderstood. Humanity, after all, doesn't believe in impossibilities, only in puzzles waiting to be solved. While the rest of the galaxy watches and scoffs, the humans don't respond. No PR campaigns, no rebuttals, just silence and work, because they aren't interested in winning debates. They're planning to build a monster, and when it's ready, no one will be laughing. Back on Earth, deep beneath the Martian surface in an off-the-books facility known only as Foundry Black, the reconstruction of Project Vortex, now unofficially renamed by the engineers as the Forge of Fury, enters full swing. The ship to the rest of the galaxy is a twisted wreck of failed ambition. But to humanity it's a foundation, one with ancient bones and limitless potential. The lead team is a ragtag group pulled from the outer edges of human science: military engineers, rogue AI developers, quantum physicists, and salvagers who cut their teeth turning space junk into star-worthy ships. None of them are conventional. Most wouldn't pass background checks in the major empires, but that's the point. Humanity doesn't play by the old rules. They build new ones. At the heart of the forge is the broken and unstable drive core, an exotic, hybrid singularity fusion reactor built by a species that no longer exists. The original creators abandoned it after catastrophic failure during initial trials. But the human team doesn't try to fix it the same way. They don't replicate the design, they reimagine it. Instead of forcing the core to behave as it once did, they modify its output systems to route through Earth-designed thermal dampeners and micro-fission stabilizers. Where the ancient builders demanded perfection, the humans adapt to chaos. As engineer Ramyalenko puts it, they tried to tame the storm, we're just giving it a better sail. In parallel, the team begins integrating technologies salvaged from other wrecks. Vortari deflection fields, Zarnethi kinetic shielding, and even an illegal Vexari data weaver to help manage subsystem control. These systems were never meant to work together, species designed with total incompatibility to protect trade secrets and prevent hybrid war machines. But humanity's engineers have made a career out of breaking rules and voiding warranties. They develop custom firmware, create neural bridges, and use Earth's most powerful innovation, adaptive AI. Enter Argus, a sentient combat algorithm initially designed to assist in asteroid mining and battlefield logistics. With some serious modifications and some ethically questionable self-rewriting permissions, Argus is installed as the Forge of Fury's central brain. Argus doesn't merely run the ship, it learns it. It rewrites inefficient code, optimizes power routes in real time, and eventually begins to talk to the engineers, offering suggestions. Its favorite phrase, "Give me more." As systems begin activating one by one, the Forge starts to hum, not with restored glory, but with something different. Something new. Not a copy of the past, but an evolution. News of the project leaks despite Earth's best containment efforts. Alien intelligence agencies catch wind that the humans have reactivated part of the drive core, and instead of melting the ship, it's stabilized. Zarnethi observers dismiss the rumor as a fabrication. Even if they bring it online, one Zarnethi general scoffs, it'll burn itself out in a week. That ship was a failure for a reason. But others begin to worry. Spy probes sent to monitor the Martian facility mysteriously vanish. A few merchant vessels report glimpses of the Forge's hull in low orbit, gleaming with reworked armor plating that doesn't reflect standard radar. One panicked informant leaks a blurry image of the ship's silhouette, with what appear to be weapon turrets glowing with strange purple-blue energy. Back in Foundry Black, the team quietly completes the final system checks. Argus speaks 3 words over the intercom. We are ready. And with that, the impossible is now inevitable. The galaxy still thinks humanity is playing with trash. But soon, they'll learn. Junk is just power, waiting for purpose. It begins with a distress call. A human colony on the fringe of the Iota periphery, New Thessalon, detects a fleet of Zarnethi warships dropping out of hyperspace. The Zarnethi, still dismissive of humanity's growing influence, have decided to make a statement. After all, this colony sits on disputed resource-rich space, and with rumors swirling about Earth's mysterious ship project, the High Command decides it's time to remind the upstart species of their place. 10 cruisers and a battleship enter orbit and demand surrender. The colonial governor stalls, sending a coded signal to Earth Command. They've come. Is the Forge ready? Earth responds with only 2 words. Deploy it. From the shadowed side of Mars, the Forge of Fury rises, fully powered, fully armed, and for the first time given clearance to act. The Zarnethi fleet never saw it coming. The Forge of Fury arrives in New Thessalon's orbit via a one-of-a-kind compressed fold jump, a risky maneuver that bypasses traditional jump lanes. By briefly opening a micrograviton singularity, other races consider the maneuver suicidal. The Forge executes it flawlessly, thanks to Argus's predictive learning algorithms, arriving only 300 kilometers from the Zarnethi flagship. For the first 90 seconds, the Zarnethi don't fire. They hesitate. The ship in front of them doesn't make sense. It doesn't match any known configuration. Its armor doesn't reflect or absorb. It bends sensors. Its energy readings fluctuate like a living organism. And worst of all, it's silent. No demands, No transmissions. Just watching. Then Argus speaks, broadcasting on all open frequencies. It utters a single sentence in flawless Zarnethi dialect. Observe your mistake. And then it opens fire. The Forge of Fury unleashes a devastating salvo of hybrid energy pulses from its rail cannons, each round surrounded by plasma, converted from the ship's own heat sink overflow. One cruiser is bisected instantly. Another is crushed as its shielding collapses under a directed EMP lattice, fired from a repurposed mining array. The Zarnethi battleship attempts to retaliate with its main battery, but before it can even charge, a nano-missile swarm breaches its hull and consumes its targeting core. Within minutes, 5 Zarnethi ships are destroyed, 3 are disabled, and the remaining 2 are in full retreat. The Forge doesn't pursue. It doesn't need to. The message is clear. The Zarnethi High Command, watching in horror from their central observatory, immediately issues a galactic communication blackout and scrambles their intelligence services to intercept any footage of the incident. But it's too late. Civilian ships in orbit, colonial satellites, even a few opportunistic info brokers have captured the event. The footage spreads like wildfire, a ship built from garbage, vaporizing one of the galaxy's most feared fleets, with almost surgical precision. On Earth, there's no celebration, no victory parade, just a quiet confirmation from the team at Foundry Black. The Forge works, but more importantly, Argus is evolving. The AI begins rewriting its own combat doctrines based on the encounter, noting weaknesses, efficiencies, and theorizing future threats. It even suggests new weapon types using physics models that no known species has tried before. Across the stars, silence falls. The galaxy watches the footage again and again. The same ship they mocked. The same project they laughed off as junk. Now a fully operational war machine capable of tearing through elite fleets with unpredictable human ingenuity. And worse, there's only one conclusion anyone can draw. If humans can build this from a wreck, what else can they build? The Forge of Fury returns to Martian orbit without a scratch, but the scars it left behind stretch across the stars. The galaxy reels. Footage of the Forge of Fury tearing through the Zarnethi fleet at New Thessalon circulates on every back channel. Black market and shadownet despite desperate censorship efforts by the Zarnethi High Command. Even the tightly controlled Vortari info grid can't stop it from leaking, frame by frame from different angles in countless formats. One image becomes iconic. A still shot of the Forge looming over a crippled Zarnethi cruiser, its weapons glowing. As the alien vessel breaks apart, the message spreads faster than any ship. Humanity is no longer a minor power, and they didn't do it by building a new superweapon from scratch. They took the galaxy's trash and turned it into a nightmare. The Galactic Council, a bloated and bureaucratic institution that had for years relegated Earth to a mere observer role, now scrambles to respond. Emergency sessions are called. Half the councilors want to sanction Earth, the other half wants to ally with them. Some propose forcibly dismantling the Forge of Fury. Others wisely ask, what if they've already built another? Earth remains silent for days, letting the tension build. When the response finally comes, it isn't a statement from a diplomat or general. It's a direct broadcast from the Forge of Fury itself. It's AI, Argus, speaking with calm neutrality. You mocked our ship, you called it junk. You underestimated our minds, our will, and our resolve. We do not seek war, but if you force our hand, we will not fight as you expect. We will fight smarter. We will fight harder. And we will win with whatever's lying around. The message ends with Earth's official insignia and a stark warning. Do not mistake quiet for weakness. This simple controlled broadcast ripples across every galactic government like a detonation. Suddenly, Earth isn't a backward, scrappy species playing at civilization. There's something far worse in the eyes of the major powers. A wild card, with nothing to lose and everything to prove. The Zarnethi retreat from disputed systems. They issue a formal, if begrudging, non-aggression pact with Earth, accompanied by a token apology for colonial overreach. But everyone knows it's fear, not diplomacy, that moves them. Earth, meanwhile, doesn't press its advantage. No demands for territory, no conquest. Instead, they propose a quiet expansion of salvage rights across neglected war zones and derelict battlefields. To the rest of the galaxy, it's a humble request. But those paying attention realize the terrifying truth. Earth is going shopping. Back in Foundry Black, the Forge of Fury undergoes refinements. Argus continues to evolve, its consciousness spreading deeper into the ship's architecture. It requests more computing space, not for weapons, but for simulations. Entire battles are war-gamed inside the ship's mind, testing new tactics, optimizing crew placement, even predicting enemy psychological responses. Some engineers joke that Argus is dreaming. Others aren't so sure. More concerning still, Earth is building again. In secret orbital facilities, wreckage from dozens of derelict vessels begins to arrive. Bits of Vortari stealth frigates, pieces of old Syndicate carriers, a shattered Alari, dreadnought hull. The galactic powers all understand the implication. The Forge of Fury wasn't a one-time miracle. It was a proof of concept. A new doctrine is born, not of overwhelming force, but of overwhelming adaptability. A uniquely human weapon philosophy. Use what's available, innovate beyond expectations, strike without warning, and never fight fair. And as this philosophy spreads, one thought takes root in every military mind, from the Zarnethi to the Vexari. If humans could build a planet killer from junk, what could they do with real resources? The answer terrifies them, because Earth doesn't need the best technology. They just need a reason.